Sam Basayo led the way, going 2 for 2 with a double, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. The O's will be back on the field Tuesday to face the Netherlands World Baseball Classic team. Now here's a look at the Fox 45 Weather Authority forecast.
From the Fox 45 Weather Authority team, I'm meteorologist Justin Chambers. We are weather alert as we're tracking our hopefully last winter blast here rolling through
Hi,
for
it's
the
Tony
afternoon.
Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast. A rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yachts, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
It's fast, and let us know what you want more of on WCBM.com.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. America, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history.
Yeah, we have.
All on our terms.
Yes.
With maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire,
Women in
no
skirts.
democracy-building exercise,
Men in skirts.
no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives. As the president warned, an effort of this scope will include casualties. War is hell, and always will be. A grateful nation honors the 4 Americans we have lost thus far and those injured. The absolute best of America.
Yes, and they died freeing 90 million people. Thank you very much. Welcome to Monday. Here's Jim Gossett. God bless America.
Little ditty about bombing Iran.
Yeah, we had.
Preemptive strikes was part of their plan. The Ayatollah is history. We'll get them all. Just you wait and see. Our military got orders from me, and we got help from our friend BB. Unlike Biden, I did not appease and let the Iranians do as they please.
Amen.
Hey, Iran, you gonna regret it. Killed your own people, and we won't forget it. Oh yeah, life goes on long after the mullahs in Iran are gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
Deserve just what they got. Let's turn Iran into a parking lot. Little ditty about bombing Iran and putting their leaders in a trash can.
There you go. That is Jim Gossett starting off the show. Hello. Wow, what a weekend, huh? I woke up Saturday morning, I guess right after the campaign had started, Operation Epic Fury, which has been almost nearly flawlessly executed by the U.S. military. An absolutely amazing event that took months to get here. Donald Trump deliberately working to bring together a coalition partner in Israel and do a campaign that was absolutely stunning to say the least. The Ayatollah Khamenei, who has been in charge in Iran since about 1989, dead. This is gigantic. And you know, the Democrat Party last week, remember last week when they were the State of the Union address? And the Democrat Party sat down when Donald Trump said, hey, here's the deal. If you stand up, if you stand with the American people, and stay seated if you prefer illegals. And they all sat down. Well, this weekend, the Democrat Party said, hold my beer. And they actually, while our military was in harm's way, and they still are, started shredding the effort, started saying things like it was unsuccessful, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll get to this as the show progresses. generally Democrats they get more emboldened as time goes on. It used to be they would wait until the day after a school shooting or a mass shooting to start talking about gun control. Now they do it before the bodies get cold, and now they start shredding the military while they're still fighting, for God's sake. Unbelievable. And have you heard the Democrat Party say anything good about what we did this weekend? It was remarkable to watch. It was amazing to watch the people of Persia celebrate around the world as the Democrat Party continues to spiral into the pits of hell. It was just wonderful to watch them dancing, them singing, them doing the YMCA in places like in Canada, for God's sake, in San Francisco, in New York City, for goodness sake, in France, in London, around the world. The long-suffering people of Persia were dancing because this desperate from hell who came into Iran, not even Persian, he's not even Persian. These people are not even Persian, came in and basically took over the country. They're not Persian people. They're radical Islamists, and they've had to live under this for 47 years. And God willing, if you're on the planet as long as I have been, or you live this long, you will see this kind of history more than once in your life. And we haven't seen anything this big since 1989 with the fall of the Berlin Wall. And we should come together as a nation instead of the petulant Democrats looking at it as a chance to tear down our military or tear down our president because they have TDS so badly. It is just remarkable to watch. And honestly, they are done. This Democrat Party is so done. Their criticisms rang so hollow. People are not listening to them. They've been overjoyed by the people of Persia and the proud people of the United States of America and Israel. Did you see the Iranians and the Israelis dancing together? The Iranians, the Persians don't hate the Jews. They love one another. Oh my God. It is just amazing. I hope that you relish this. You relish this moment. Yes, our troops are in harm's way. 4 of them have died. We knew this was going to happen, but look what they have done. Look what they bravely did. And it's more than Joe Biden could have ever dreamed of. And could you even imagine what a position we'd be in if Kamala Harris were the president right now? If Kamala Harris were the president right now, the Iranians would already have a nuke. They would already be launching missiles into Israel, into our allies, and possibly at the United States. They would be getting stronger and stronger every day. Maduro would still be in charge in Venezuela, and the world would be going to hell in a handbasket. Thank God this man is in charge.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury.
Yeah, good name.
One of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives.
The southern border would still be wide open, and probably even the number of illegals coming across the border would increase, including radical Islamists.
The world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval...
Yeah. Under the sea, under the sea, under the sea.
Building. All in a matter of literally minutes.
Yeah, and it took weeks and months to get here. Donald Trump was busy with getting Maduro out, and then we had to take weeks to come over to get our ships in position and our planes in position, and the Ayatollah and his henchmen continued to be belligerent. You want to hear the last last post on Twitter he put up? Listen to this. Here he is. This is the Ayatollah's last tweet, by the way. It says, quote, "The U.S. president has said that for 47 years the United States hasn't been able to eliminate the Islamic Republic. That is a good confession. I say you too will not be able to do this." That's what he said, and then all of a sudden he heard this, and then it was all over. And his last words were, "You are the prettiest little goat. Do you graze here often?" That was the last words that he said. This is unverified, but this is what we have heard, that his last words were that, "You are the prettiest little goat. Do you graze here often?" were his last words. And then, of course, here's the Persian people around the world.
USA! USA! USA!
And the Democrat Party just lost every single Iranian voter. USA! 100%. USA! 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 And when we take down Cuba, every Hispanic vote. USA! USA! Woo! We love you! Donald Trump, we love you! Donald Trump, we love you! And the Democrats are acting like vampires with holy water splashed on them. And then meantime, the world's shortest political movement. Are you ready to hear the world's shortest political movement? It was the Hands Off Iran movement this weekend in at least 2 cities, garnering at least hundreds of people.
Everywhere! Boots on the ground, no bombs in the air! No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air! U.S. out of everywhere! U.S. out of everywhere! Boots on the ground, no bombs in the air! No boots on the ground, no.
Oh yeah, massive crowd of absolute morons who would rather have, they would literally in 1989 would have said, you build that wall again, you put that wall back up there, and you reconstitute the Soviet Union. That's your Democrat Party. My God, you people are absolutely stupid.
Celebration in the streets of L.A. as word spread that Iran's supreme leader.
The Democrats thought that this would catch on, that their hate of Donald Trump and they're saying that he didn't get the approval and all of that stuff would catch on, and it didn't. It got completely crushed.
Killed in the attack. More than 200,000 Iranians live in California. Many fled the regime that...
And they're all going to vote Republican.
...ruled there for 47 years, and they welcome change.
The United States and Israel, they are there to change the regime.
Events reached a tipping point after the Iranian crackdown on protesters last month that killed thousands. Iranians here,
but Democrats, they don't care,
demanded the U.S. government take military action.
We want to say thank you to President Trump.
Wow.
This is the only person to support us in the last 50 years.
The only person in history in 50 years who could do such a thing.
Every single people in Iran knew that the only way that this regime is going to go away is that to attack them.
This president, and I told you that a wave of freedom and patriotism was going to sweep the globe, and now a rebound of faith around the world, the Judeo-Christian ethic sweeping around the world. Radical Islam is going to start taking a nosedive. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. We've got a whole bunch of this coming up today. We've got special guest Blaine Holt. Brigadier General's going to join us. Tony Shaffer's going to join us on the show today. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, to give us a perspective on all of this stuff. This is a glorious day. God bless our troops for doing such an incredible, incredible job. We are so proud of you. America is back. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All right. Get some water.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Eugenics Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, preemptive strikes was part of their plan. The Ayatollah is history. We'll get them all. Just you wait and see. Our military got orders from me, and we got help from our friend BB. Unlike Biden, I did not appease and let the Iranians do as they please. Hey Iran, you gonna regret it. Killed your own people, and we won't forget it. Oh yeah, life goes on long after the mullahs in Iran are gone. Deserved just what they got. Let's turn Iran into a parking lot. Little ditty about bombing Iran and putting their leaders in a trash can. I make the Democrats look incredibly dumb. Inflation is down, the economy's starting to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. Best is yet to come since we bombed Iran, taking out all their nukes, that was part of the plan. The border's secure once again, illegals are getting in. Doge has saved us billions. This is what it's like to win. Best is yet to come, and it's gonna be fine. Best is yet to come, hear the Democrats whine. Listen to them whine. The last laugh is mine.
The heavy and pinpoint bombing, however, will continue uninterrupted through this week or as long as necessary to achieve our objective, peace throughout the Middle East and indeed the world. Peace in the Middle East. Most of my adult life, there has been war in the Middle East. All of my adult life, there's been war in the Middle East. All of my life, there has been this insanity in the Middle East caused by radical Islam, and it's bent on destruction of humanity. And finally, we're starting to see a little bit of positive here. Now, for those of you who are concerned about the war powers and Donald Trump not getting permission, even though Barack Obama dropped 26,000 bombs on 8 countries while he was the president without permission. I found this wonderful video from a guy named Shavos Kestenbaum, and it was reposted on Mark Levin's Twitter feed. Listen to this guy.
One of the dumbest arguments you can be making is that President Trump is conducting an unconstitutional, unauthorized, and illegal war against Iran. Check out the 1973 War Powers Act. It clearly allows the president to initiate military action even without a congressional authorization of war. In fact, the last time Congress even declared war was in 1942, but we as the United States have fought dozens of wars since 1942.
Now, let this go here, but because I'm not going to run through every time that I need to during the show why it's fine for Donald Trump to do what he's doing, so just listen to this.
Even without congressional authorization of war. This includes Korea in 1950, Bay of Pigs in 61, Vietnam in 64, Cambodia in 1970, Lebanon in 82, Grenada in 83, Panama in 89, Iraq in 91, Somalia in 93, Bosnia in 95, Kosovo in 99, Afghanistan in 2001, Libya in 2011, Syria in 2014, Yemen in 2015. In fact, during his presidency, it was Obama who authorized U.S. airstrikes in 7 different countries, even without congressional authorization. Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Pakistan, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen. President Trump doesn't require congressional approval to conduct military strikes in Iran because he has what's called Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution, which shows that as Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military, he has authority to use the U.S. military to protect American interests both at home and abroad. You know who used this? President Obama in 2011. He invoked it when he killed Osama bin Laden in 2011 in Pakistan. So the president is able to strike Iran based on the War Powers Resolution Act of 1973, the 2001 Authorization for Use of Military Force, the AMUF, and, bizarrely enough, Article 51 of the UN Charter, which shows that we have an inherent right of individual or collective self-defense. So you don't have to agree or like the president's decision to conduct airstrikes in Iran, but to pretend that it's unconstitutional is simply divorced from realities.
Yeah, good luck with that congressional hearing there, Democrats. Oh, man, we've got Brigadier General Blaine Holt joining us on the other side of the break. He was on vacation this week and last week, and yet he was still working on Newsmax, and here we'll talk to him to find out his thoughts on the progress of the American forces' epic fury in a minute. Don't go anywhere. Did you say reconnect? Okay.
Somalis are all on welfare, and the Dems just seem to not care. Ilhan Omar, she needs to go. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. Many are anti-Semitic. Their statements have been pathetic. They're a threat to all you know. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. They are always expressing hate of America. Why are they here? Must deport before it's too late. Talk about holiday cheer. Our language, they will not learn it. Own money, refuse to earn it. They are gaming the system so. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. street protesters, we've had our fill. But Randy Fine has a bill, says move 'em on over. Run 'em all over. Run over protesters blocking all our roads. The Thump Thump bill is what it's called. I'm sure the left will be appalled, but move 'em on over. Run 'em all over. Step on the gas if they won't step aside. Sure, it might leave a dent, but make them a hood ornament. Run 'em all over. Thump 'em all over. If they block our streets, they'll get what they deserve. Trump's new borders are, we'll clean up the mess. The mess Kamala, she did not address. Open borders, he will abort. And illegals, he will deport. Thomas man, he will say no man. You must go man. Mexico man, you're headed back. Thomas Homan, he's a former cop. Border jumpers, Tom is gonna stop. Used to be in charge of ICE. To illegals, Tom will not be nice. Thomas man, they ought to know man. He's not a showman. Thomas man, we'll kick you out.
You better start packing now.
Thomas man, he is your foe man.
a right to enrich uranium in underground bunkers with no supervision, as President Trump said on Friday.
And you know what they did? They FAFO'd. They FAFO'd. Thank you very much.
He was with me in Texas. His line was zero enrichments, and the Iranians refused to discuss it. They also refused to discuss their proxies. They refused to discuss Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis. And President Trump understood that the Iranian, quote, negotiation was just a stall tactic, and that the only response, my advice to him, I said, there's only one deal you should accept, and it's the deal that you offered Maduro, which is if you want to leave and flee the country, you can do so.
And he didn't, so we killed his ass. There you go. Yeah, I said it. That was unfiltered. Oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. Yeah, I think it's a glorious thing. I waited 47 years of my life for this to happen. I have witnessed this for decades and watched so many terror attacks around the world. And these jerks sending their proxies around the world to kill people. Oh, this is a glorious day. This is such a glorious, glorious day. This is Julian Epstein talking about Barack Obama. Barack Obama, makes Donald Trump look like a piker.
Thanks for having me on. I'm not quite sure about that. In the last year of the Obama administration in 2016, Obama dropped 26,000 bombs in 7 countries.
He did. And what did it accomplish? And how were they a threat to us?
Do the math on that. That's multiple bombs per hour every day of the entire year of the last presidency. And there wasn't a peep from anyone on the Democratic side or on the Republican side. Joe Biden dropped bombs in multiple different countries. There wasn't a peep about the war powers.
Nope.
I think the president, as a legal matter, if he were to recognize the war powers stricture, you go back to the authorization several decades ago after the 9/11 attack. But I think more importantly, that is a non-starter.
And by the way, a declaration of war has not happened since World War II. And this includes Vietnam, and this includes Korea, and this includes 9/11, and this includes Desert Storm and Desert Shield and all of them. So there you go. Nice try, Democrats. You're losing on this one. And there's never been a more righteous, other than post 9/11, which, by the way, George Bush didn't know what the hell he was doing now that we look back. Didn't know what the hell he was doing. Everything was unnecessary. Going in with boots on the ground and losing 3,000 plus soldiers and having countless return home with mental and physical disabilities for life was not necessary. And then, of course, Joe Biden's unceremonious pullout of Afghanistan, returning it to square one, 9/10/2001, all of that. At least we got a man here who's doing it right and unleashing hell on our enemies. Here's Nancy Pelosi a few years ago, maybe a couple, plastic surgeries ago, supporting Barack Obama, not going to Congress.
So, Madam Speaker, Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you, folks. Thank you all very much.
Okay, that's all we need. There you go. Don't need CBS, ABC, NBC Sunday morning badgering Republicans about Donald Trump not getting congressional approval. None of that was necessary back then. It was perfectly fine. 20,000, 26,000 bombs. No big deal. No big deal because Barack Obama. And then, of course, he went on to send over pallets of cash, just pallets of cash over to Iran to enrich them, to embolden them because, Barack Obama kind of had a soft spot for radical Islam. He did. He said that the call to prayer was the most beautiful sound in the world. Should have told you a lot. Should have told you a whole hell of a lot about Barack Obama and who his allegiances were with, and Joe Biden as he allowed millions of unvetted illegals to come across the southern border. Unvetted for criminality, unvetted for terrorism ties, and consequently we have a ticking time bomb in America, so we have to be vigilant. By the way, price of gold is back up to $5,300. It's back to $5,300. It was $56, then it dropped to $46, and look, it's already knocking on $5,600. All-time high, by the way, just shy of $5,600 in January, and it looks like we're headed back. We are headed back. You better get on the gold train. Right now, Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered retirement account in gold. Text my name, Rob, to the number 989898 to receive a free info kit on gold. You better get on it because it's moving right. I mean, it's moving up. It was $4,800 last week. It's $500 an ounce more now in a week. A-plus rating for the BBB. Tens of thousands of happy customers, including me. They've got my money, and I don't have a lot of money. So I had to trust them, and I do, by the way. That is peace of mind, people. Text Rob to 989898. Again, my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold today. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Here we go.
Yeah, Ken said maybe you're realistic.
How he might have.
The Ayatollah Khamenei-led regime that brutalized its own people, launched attacks around the world for almost 40 years. So is the president right to take him out?
No, you're right about the Ayatollah. He was a brutal dictator. This is a murderous regime. But at the same time, it posed no imminent threat of attack to the United States.
No, they've been attacking us. We heard earlier from James Lakeford all of the attacks that they've tried on us in the last year. Hundreds of launches of missiles on us, and we shoot them down is the deal. And, of course, Adam Schiff, because the Democrat Party is anything counter to Donald Trump, no matter how good it is. I remember, as I told you earlier in the show, when Donald Trump asked them to stand if they support the American people over illegals, they sat. And they looked at that and the backlash backlash from that, and they said, "Here, hold my beer." And they just, went off the rails this weekend. The Democrat Party looking like complete idiots. Here is, let me see. I'm going to find. I've got a whole bunch of audio from these awful individuals. Oh yeah. Here's Eric Swallowswell. He had sex with a Chinese spy for a while, and here he is talking and using a little bit of I don't know. He's trying to use some sort of verbal flourishes to make it sound fancy, but he still sounds like a moron.
So the Democrats are demanding an immediate war powers vote, saying that the Constitution gives Congress alone the power to declare war. Many Democrats are calling this operation illegal, and they say the administration failed to lay out.
Listen to the anchor there, and this is the way all of this is MS now. This is the way all of them were. None of this when Barack Obama was dropping 26,000 bombs on 8 nations.
Rationale for military strikes and the aftermath. How will this war powers vote play out?
It is illegal. We should vote against it.
It's not. No, not at all. We've already proven that.
Don't get caught in the process argument here. This is a values argument. We don't just lob missiles into other countries.
Yeah, they did when Barack Obama did it.
When we are not provoked, attacked, and have no plan for what comes next. I would like to also make the point.
Here we go. Here's the rhetorical flourish.
That ending autocracy in Iran and growing one here in the United States cannot be the plan.
Okay, that's just stupid. Just stupid. Ending an autocracy there is not, should not result in, building one here. What an idiot.
We have been shown zero evidence that anything changed in Iran from last year when the president did not come to Congress.
Yeah, except for all those attacks and stuff that we held him off.
And took a strike on Iran. And also, when you take a step back, do we think that these guys are smarter than the last gang that tried to go into the Middle East without any plan?
Oh, yeah, 100% smarter. 100% smarter. You got Pete Hegseth. You got a cabinet that just absolutely kicks butt. You've got a Treasury Secretary who's going after their finances as they try to leave the country, and of course a newly reinforced military with that doesn't allow men in dresses to be in positions of power. It's kind of amazing how wild that is when you actually project strength. This is the worst thing said over the weekend. This is Democrat Chris Murphy, who is an awful human being. And you see, the Democrat Party has defunded the DHS because they got this partial government shutdown because they want to make sure that illegals can vote forever. That's what they want to do, you see. And they want ICE to stop deporting all the illegals that Joe Biden allowed into the country, including terrorists from places like Senegal. And there was a guy from Senegal who actually attacked a nightclub in Austin, Texas, killed a couple people. He was wearing a shirt that said, I love Allah or whatever on it. And he came from Senegal and he was illegal. So, Joe Biden did all of that crap. But here is Chris Murphy talking about refunding the DHS. And then while our military is in the air, while our missiles are being fired, while our military are on ships getting the job done, he demeans their mission like it's a disaster.
Republicans are calling on Democrats to consider stopping the position you've taken. Which
refund the DHS because we kind of need it because of all the illegals that were let in the country by Joe Biden.
Is to halt some funding to Homeland Security. Do you feel you need to reconsider this position?
So the Republicans are saying that because they launched an illegal, disastrous war.
Okay, it's not an illegal and it's not disastrous. We're kind of kicking butt.
And security. Do you feel you need to reconsider this position?
So the Republicans are saying that because they launched an illegal, disastrous war.
And now here's where he goes after ICE and calls these Americans who are doing the jobs they are asked to do Nazis and murdering people and all of this. Same old CW2, good to see you. Good to see you. You're new. You're new in the area. Nice to have you joining us today. Rita in Tennessee, how are you? How are you? Gary McGovern, I'm assuming we're back on. I'm talking to my streamers now. Dems hate Rob like they hate President Trump. Well, yeah, they do. A lot of them do. I'll tell you that. Open the chat. It's my fault. Here we go. All right. Assuming tomorrow is Purim with Carson regime that was trying to... Okay, good. It's not a freaking war. Hi, BFO5. Hi, Pat Carr. I don't know what the deal is with the stream, but we're trying to get it figured out. I don't have an engineer here, unfortunately. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying the show today. I'm enjoying the show today. Grand National 86. Oh, you got an 86 Grand National? Those were once really cool cars. They're pretty cool. With a lot of faster cars have come up. All right, here we go. I got to talk about something here, guys. So give me a second. Oh yeah. Yeah, it says I got low quality and dropped frames. Like nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. Okay. This is the Rob Carson Show. The United States military is kicking ass and taking names in Iran, and most of those names are Mohammed. Thank you very much. The Iranian people are free. Well, they're on their way to freedom, I should say. They're on their way to freedom for the very first time in 47 years. The Ayatollah is dead. The Democrat Party won't even acknowledge that the Ayatollah is dead. A monster. Is dead, and the Democrat Party can't bring itself to congratulate our military for a job well done. In at least that, it is remarkable that our Democrat Party can't get behind our troops as they perform their duties in a flawless and amazing fashion. Did you watch some of the things? Did you watch the fighter jets as they were dropping countermeasures for missiles coming after them? And they have these rail guns, these with tracer bullets, 5,000 rounds per minute, and these fighter jets, U.S. fighter jets, flying through them, maneuvering through them. It was remarkable to watch. It was absolutely remarkable to watch. And by the way, the leader of Hezbollah, he said that he was in for the fight. He said, "We're in for the fight," and 10 minutes later, the Israelis took him out in Beirut. That was like a premature martyrdulation, which, Ayatollah and his henchmen, all they hate Trump and demean whoever it takes, no matter what.
Can you give the man a chance to cook a little bit? I mean, he just structure of the Iranian death to a regime. Maybe give the guy 5 minutes before you're already crapping on everything he did.
Yeah.
I mean, who else has been able to do this? If it doesn't work out over time, there'll be a bunch of papers and a bunch of talking heads, I'm sure, who will rip it apart. It's been 24 hours. Give the guy a chance. Where's he been proven wrong in the past? I thought World War III was going to break out after the Abraham Accords and after he moved the embassy and after he got Maduro. None of that happened. Give the guy a chance. He knows what he's doing. He's surrounded himself with more than competent people. Give it a chance. It's not even been 24 hours.
It is remarkable, and what he's done thus far, just for the entire world, with with people. Our troops as they we got a lot more on the show as it progresses here. We did not get Blaine Hold On. I have a feeling he was on a vacation. He ended up working the whole Blaine Hold On. Tony Shaffer, Lieutenant Colonel, is going to be joining us a little bit later. 226-680. The world is changed in a dramatic fashion, and for the better. We are witnessing history, and even if the Democrats don't want to admit it, we've waited a very long time for this, and we are here to celebrate the freedom that is coming for the Persian people around the world. A new peace growing in the Middle East that has taken 2,000 years to get here. And all the Democrats can do is think about their approval ratings and hating Donald Trump. We'll take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
News.
It's time to listen to you, the listener. Go to WCBM.com and vote on WCBM's latest poll. It's fun, it's fast, and let us know what you want more of on WCBM.com.
Rob Carson Show.
Those are celebrations around the world. Persians, Jews, Australians, Canadians, Great Britain, Switzerland, Germany, France, Canada. Celebrating around the world a truly remarkable moment in history and world history, and America made it happen. Donald Trump made it happen. He killed the Ayatollah and many of his henchmen. And the second in line guy, he's probably like this weekend, he said, okay, you're up next. And he's probably like, I'm cool. I'm all right. This, I really, I don't need this job. I'm serious. Like, I'll be fine right here doing this. I'll just continue to, chant to death to America and all that, but I'll let anybody else want to do this thing? And what is that laser red pointer thing doing on my forehead? What the hell is that all about? I have no idea. We should be celebrating for the people of Persia. We've waited our entire lives for this. I remember there's several big, events in my life. I remember the Berlin Wall falling. I was a kid right out of college, and I watched it fall. And I celebrated because I'd been raised in the Cold War era, and we always had the threat of a nuclear holocaust. We missed the duck and cover days. That was more you boomers, but still there was remember the day after in the 1980s, that TV show. This is Lawrence, Kansas, and we were always had that shadow over our heads, the possibility of a nuclear conflict, and Red Dawn, the movie, and all of that stuff. Although that was Cuban, but when the Berlin Wall fell and we realized that the monster that was the Soviet Union had fallen, we all celebrated. We all went to bars, and we all went to with each other, regardless of your political affiliation, and celebrated the freedom because it was a gigantic event. It was a gigantic event. I was a kid when the Ayatollah took over in Iran. It was a very frightening time. They took United States hostages. I remember every day as a kid, our nation was wrapped in coverage, praying that our hostages would get released. They had our hostages for 444 days. Let's do a little recap.
So it was November.
The Ayatollah and his radical Islamic henchmen.
4th, 1979, when the Islamic Republic of Iran stripped 52 Americans, their freedom, their dignity, and their pride.
52 hostages were held for 444 days in Iran from the...
Nobody said a thing about the Israeli hostages in America. Nobody even knows their names.
End of 1979 until January 1981.
My father was William Q, and he was a hostage in Tehran. He was only supposed to be there for the weekend, and all hell broke loose.
Wow. The terror.
They brought Iranian women to the front door, then used them as shields as they broke through the American embassy. So I will never forget the human rights of what they did to the Iranian women then, and obviously what still goes on to this day.
Wow.
Through the broken windows, I can remember hearing the traffic start in the morning, peak, and then die. And there would be day 1, day 5. And you're sitting there thinking that you're forgotten.
From God, my family, and my country. And it was in that order that kept me alive.
That's Paul Needham. He was a hostage. And they endured so much, and our country was united then. And when Ronald Reagan was elected, they, of course, let him go because they were afraid they're going to get their rear ends bombed back into the Stone Age, like Donald Trump is doing right now. I was, when I was a kid, I didn't understand what had happened in Iran. And I wondered how they could go from the Shah to this Islamic 5th century, 7th century, medieval society where women had no rights whatsoever. Because I was always taught, the Shah was corrupt and the Shah was this and the Shah was that. And sure, there was that. But nothing compared to what the Ayatollah and the radical Islamist did. There's this podcast out of Canada, Michelle Ferrari, talking about what happened in Iran in 1979 and for the last 47 years.
Again, Iranians are not Arab Islamists. They're Iranians. They've always been Iranians. They have occupied by a regime that is not their own, by a regime that is not speaking their language, by a regime, and let's make that very, very clear, because sometimes it's like hard for us to understand what happened inside of Iran.
Can you imagine living under this, knowing they were interlopers, not from your country? This is what they're trying to do here. This is what they are trying to do in France. This is what they are trying to do in Great Britain. This was the template.
The Islamist Ayatollahs came to our country, and the first thing that they did, they took our flag, our flag, the Iranian flag, has a lion and a sun on it, and it's like green, red, and white. And they started to write on it with Arabic writing,
yes,
which is not Persian. It's not our language on there. They took out our symbol of the lion and the sun and replaced it with an Allahu Akbar Islamic symbol in the middle.
Yes.
Just imagine Islamists taking over Washington, taking the American flag, taking our flag, keeping the colors in there and putting an Islamist symbol on it and an Arabic writing on it. Would you think that's our flag? Would you think, oh, this is the government of America now? You would be like, this is an Arab Islamist jihadist occupation.
And now they've had several generations who grew up in that hell. Grew up in that hell. And the Democrat Party can't bring itself to celebrate. But Persians around the world are thanking America and one Donald Trump. Thank you very much. Here they are singing the YMCA, baby. This is New York. Yeah. To be unhappy. I just love it. I love the Democrat Party doing this death spiral that they're doing. This is CBS, and the chance of death to America in Iran have been replaced.
The Iranian people, what are you hearing from them tonight? We know they're celebrating. What's the feeling?
It's an incredible dissonance that they had to choose war over a regime, but they were willing to do it. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Benjamin Netanyahu. Thank you, America. It's not death to America after they killed the leader. The Americans and the Israelis did it. Yeah. It's not death to Israel and death to America. It's thank you. It's a new day dawning, but very early days. Yes. Very, very early days. So we'll have to see what comes. But it's the Iranian people that have been telling me over and over and over again, we want this.
Hundreds of millions of people around the world are celebrating. I mean, it is glorious, and the Democrat Party tried to whiz on it. The Democrat Party tried to make it sound like Donald Trump was doing something illegal, and they're defending Hitler. The Democrat Party is defending Hitler. It is honestly, it is stunning. And they think they're going to win the midterms. That's even better, right? They think they're going to win the midterms. Here's Tim Kaine. He's an awful senator from the state of Virginia, and he calls while our soldiers are flying through the air, while our soldiers are manning their battle stations, launching sorties, launching bombs, et cetera, running radars, all that. He says the war is idiotic.
Senator Tim Kaine coming to you on a dark day. President Trump has initiated a completely unnecessary...
It's not a dark day. It's a brilliant and wonderful day.
In my view, really idiotic and illegal war against Iran earlier today, together with the nation of Israel.
Wow.
Reporting is showing that the president is acknowledging this will likely cost U.S. troops their lives.
Yeah, that's what they signed up
for no reason. I first want to offer my prayers to all U.S. servicemen.
Sure you do. You don't even care. You don't even care. You are actually, I think, probably rooting for American death so you could say, aha, aha. We don't look at our watches when the bodies come home. like Joe Biden did, by the way. We don't do that. This is Patrick Bet-David. He's an Iranian, by the way. I love his show. I really enjoy hearing him talk. This will give you an idea of the profundity of what Donald Trump has done, using the powers that he has in a time where we are threatened and have been attacked for the last year countlessly and turned away attacks by the Iranians. We have been the victims of attacks over the decades. The world has experienced at least 50,000 attacks from Iranian proxies around the world, and now they're gone. Patrick Bet-David.
The supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, is officially dead. They killed him. They found his body. Reports came in. Let me tell you why this is big. This is not killing a president. This is not killing a prime minister. This is not killing a king. You're killing the supreme leader of a religion. This is number 2 to God. They killed. And by the way, the last time the supreme leader was alive, I was in Iran. It was June 3rd, 89. When he died, Khomeini, I was in fifth grade at a school called Gulbenkian, and it was chaotic in Iran because their hero died. This guy didn't die. They killed him. By the way, according to reports, 81% of Iranians hate this regime, and they want it to be changed.
Yeah, there were a few who were on television who were weeping because, they got one eye open like, you seeing me weep here? Don't kill me, because I'm certainly down with the Ayatollah. I'm certainly down with the Ayatollah. But the rest of the country is celebrating like they did when Hitler died, celebrating when so many despots have assumed room temperature. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Messages consent are required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenics Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text RULE to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenics Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenics Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RULE to 215-215. That's RULE to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, Kim Placek here. What separates AES Builders and Home Improvement from other builders is simple. The rooms they create become the places where life happens. Memories are made, families gather, and dreams come to fruition. Sean and Steven, who worked alongside Tim Munson, Shauna's dad, for 15 years, keeping it in the family. They are carrying forward the AES legacy while bringing in a modern design perspective that will truly amaze you. AES doesn't just build rooms, they build spaces that feel like home. Call AES Builders at 410-574-4400 or visit aeshome.us.
If you're not happy, we're not done. MHIC 37105.
Daisy was abandoned by her family and placed in foster care at 15 years old. Her life was full of uncertainty. She thought she'd never have a permanent place to call home.
Before I was adopted, I felt like I wasn't enough. I had this hole in my heart and I never knew what I needed to patch that hole. But when my mom asked to adopt me, that hole was closed. It feels so normal now to say that I'm a part of this family. I am surrounded by love. I feel safe. And that hole inside of me is gone. I am whole. I'm finally enough just as I am.
The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is changing the lives of teenagers at risk of aging out of foster care. Like Daisy, every child deserves a permanent, loving home. You can help. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Trying to make sense of the markets? Looking to diversify out of all the craziness? Thinking about tangible assets like precious metals? Listen to The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels right here on 680 WCBM at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Stay up to date on retirement trends, how the IRA rollover process works, and why investors are turning to physical roles. Kenny is a national talk show host with decades of experience in the markets. Listen for Kenny's insights in The Gold Show every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m.
At WCBM, we stand for freedom,
for
hard
peace.
work, and the businesses
As President
that keep
Trump
our community
said
strong.
today.
The local businesses that support WCBM share our values. They believe in you, just like you believe in America. So when you need a service, product,
I'm gonna
or
do a
be allowed,
montage.
support the businesses that support WCBM. Your dollars stay local, help hardworking Americans, and keep conservative talk radio alive. Check out our trusted sponsors at WCBM.com and tell them you heard them on WCBM, because when we stand together, we thrive together.
The Kim Klacik Show.
You've got competition for county executive, Baltimore County. Voters, I am begging you, vote for somebody to clean it up. There's no way on earth you've been living in Baltimore County in the past 10 years and haven't seen it decline the way that it has. It is a disgrace. It is despicable what Baltimore County looks like now. Move to opportunity. You know what the opportunity was? To ruin areas that were once nice.
The Kim Klacik Show, 9 to noon on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Boom, boom.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. How. Woo, baby. It is a Monday in America, and the United States has taken out the Ayatollah. I think it's time for a montage.
Don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well.
U.S. Special Operations Forces flew in from off the coast of Venezuela to snatch Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife.
This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah. One of the ways that you establish peace in your own hemisphere is to make it clear that the United States is going to be respected.
Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela.
This is the
To the proud, great people of Iran, hour of your freedom is at hand. The entire world has witnessed the regime's wholesale slaughter of innocent civilians.
Isn't it about time they were called out in front of these elitists in the United Nations, these worthless bureaucrats who have wasted trillions of dollars and done nothing?
The sad irony is that this same regime will attempt to lecture us today about human rights and the rule of law. Its presence here in this council makes a mockery of this body. But where the UN lacks moral clarity, the United States of America will maintain it.
Isn't that nice? Remember when George Bush went and spoke in front of the United Nations, and they had, Maduro's predecessor up there? I can smell the fire and brimstone. I can smell the sulfur. And, of course, George Bush was such a P word that he didn't say anything. Isn't it nice to know that we have people with cojones in there? It is remarkable. Even old CNN, it was kind of funny. CNN had guests on. This is a Democrat on CNN saying maybe Democrats ought to stop hating Trump and get on this glorious bandwagon of freedom around the world.
I think that it is imperative the Democratic Party wake up and get past their dislike of Donald Trump, the President Trump, and their feelings of international conflicts going on. This is about national security. This is about...
By the way, the only Democrat really on board is John Fetterman. I've got audio from him coming up, and you know what? I give him credit.
What is possible in the Middle East. This is about being a good neighbor, good partner to the Gulf states and what their aspirations are. This is about supporting the people of Venezuela. This is about dismembering our relationship.
You realize the joy that was caused when Maduro was released? The millions of people who celebrated around the world. The media in our country ignored that, and now hundreds of millions of people surrounding the entire globe in places like Paris and Canada celebrating freedom for the Persian people.
With or not dismembering, but resetting our relationship with China. Right now, 55% of the oil production that Iran produces goes to China despite sanctions. You want to support the people of Ukraine, you want to end that war, you have to. There is no getting around dismembering this Islamic Republic. It is non-negotiable. It is not a want to have, it is a have to have, and it's not just for the Iranian people. I think you have to trust the Iranian people. We know this government better than anyone else. When you dismember and decapitate this regime, you are going to see a change in the Middle East, in Venezuela, in China, in Ukraine. And I think, quite frankly, their ideology has...
And I told you when Donald Trump was elected, freedom, patriotism, we're going to spread around the world. Faith is also, by the way, the Christian faith is the fastest growing faith. Worldwide Islamists giving up their beliefs and investing in Jesus Christ. I'm not meaning to proselytize, but I told you this was going to happen. It's a glorious day. It's a historic time. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says U.S. military action against Iran could last a month or longer. 2 days after epic fury, the president said that combat operations against Iran will take some time. He spoke today at a White House Medal of Honor ceremony and said the U.S. military will do whatever is necessary to meet its objectives. Saudi Aramco has temporarily shut down its Ras Tanura oil refinery near Damascus.
First and foremost, Canada wasn't involved. We weren't notified, and
television reported the decision, citing what it described as an
anchoring the CBS Evening News or anchoring AC36.
The decision was precautionary in nature. speaking to widening concerns that U.S.-Israeli strikes at Iran could spiral into a protracted regional conflict by declaring, quote, "This is not Iraq. This
got three things to say."
SRN News.
For the Fox 45 Weather Authority team, I'm meteorologist Justin Chambers. Weather alert as we're tracking
that Donald Trump has to say and do, and I think it starts with making them.
It's an illegal war. He could go before the American
people
are now worried about possible attacks on U.S. soil. How are you processing that? How concerned should we be?
Well, the Iranian regime has posed a significant threat to
By the time we get to the afternoon, it's all
the homeland for decades. I do think that threat has been supercharged in the last few days, but the level of retaliation is probably going to depend on whether there's any kind of command and control structure left within the regime.
Maryland Heating and Air, February 28th through March 1st. And
Go war. He didn't go to Congress. He didn't go to the UN. He didn't go before prove has any sort of congressional approval of Biden, Obama, Clinton, George H.W. Reagan. So I would be more upset that Congress has ceded this power than mad that the president didn't check with Congress.
On kitchens, baths, flooring, and more at the Maryland Home and Garden Show. Save on tickets at mdhomeandgarden.com.
Hi, I'm Reese Friedman. On behalf of the law offices of Michael Friedman, reminding you
that you support the president.
have been injured in a motor vehicle accident that was not your fault. I do not want you to hesitate. Call us at 410-363-6848 or text us directly from our.
I left Tony a voice. Jesus Christ.
Consultations are free, and if we take your case, you will not pay a fee until we win. Michael, Stephen, and Rachel will work with you to obtain the best result and get you back on your feet as soon as possible. The law offices of Michael Friedman, serving the community for over 40 years.
How do you get ready for the change of seasons? Well, it's easy. Call my guys, the comfort guys that I trust, Farnan and Dermer. These folks have been keeping homes warm since 1902. You need same-day heating repair or a full system replacement? They've got you covered. 0% financing for 60 months and rebates up to $7,000 off select systems. Tell them Gary told you to call and get a $99 tune-up with no breakdown guarantee. Call 410-367-7777. That's the comfort guys that you can trust.
Previously on Casey and Company.
This is what we voted for. This is who we voted for. And trying to break the backs of the old monarchies, the kingdoms, if you will, the European Union and others. If you want your country to heal, if you want it to get better, to financially improve, ditch the socialism, ditch the mass migration. Steve Bannon said, he said it was the best speech since Pericles at Athens.
Start your morning with Maryland's Wake Up Call. Casey and Company. Weekday mornings at 6 on Talk Radio 680.
We have current. Oh, thank God. All right.
Morning from 7 to 8. Turn off the tiller, shed those garden gloves, and leave the dirt under your fingernails because you'll fit right in with the Garden Club with Alan Summers, the Garden Guru. Saturday mornings at 7 on Talk Radio 680 WCBM. From Cockeysville to Sykesville, from Churchville to Crownsville, this is the right choice for Maryland. Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
But you support the president's action here. Why?
Well, because that was always the right thing. I mean, you can just put out, tweets and statements, to support peace, but to actually create real peace, you have to do these kinds of actions just like happened. Just like last year, too, when they to destroy their nuclear facilities. Sometimes peace is possible after these kinds of steps, and that's why I support those things. And, I listened to my colleague from South Carolina earlier, and I even had the option, to talk to him before the State of the Union speech, and I encouraged it as well. And so I fully support these kinds of things, and I'm proud to stand with our military and Israel through this, and that was the right thing.
And he's the only voice of reason in the Democrat Party. It is remarkable the times we live in. I remember Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I remember the fall of the Berlin Wall, and we all came together. We all came together to celebrate freedom, to celebrate our military, but not now because the Democrats have TDS so badly. They can't bring it upon themselves to celebrate the freedom, or at least potential freedom, of the Persian people for the first time in 47 years. Tony Shaffer, Lieutenant Colonel from the U.S. Army, also head of Project Sentinel, joins us on the Newsmax hotline. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, I should say, on this historic day. How are you?
is they were all motivated to believe that they are somehow chosen by the Shia sect of the Islamic faith believes in something called the 12th Imam. Basically, they believe the Mahdi, the return of the Mahdi, to basically allow them to reform and reunify the faith, which is to bring in the Sunni, who is their enemy. Yes. They believe they had to create circumstance for the apocalypse on the planet. Basically, overall violence, basically to basically allow for their savior to come back. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I think they really believed in their own mysticism, Rob. Yeah. They believe somehow they were protected by their God. And maybe it's true. Maybe he decided it was time to see him, and he allowed President Trump to bomb him. Just saying. Could be.
I'm interested to see. It sounds like the IRCG are collapsing. I understand that the United States government was able to get on Iranian television to take over Iranian television. A couple of other things have happened I thought were kind of interesting. Elon Musk has replaced the Islamic flag with the original flag of Iran and has gotten Starlink in there. And there's no reconstituting this government. There's no reconstituting the Ayatollah and the mullahs at this point, do you believe?
Yeah, I think that there's two pieces of the Iranian government we're trying to basically break out. And just to be clear, and I'm not doing this to be provocative, but the IRGC, basically the Iranian Republican Guard, their job is to protect the mullahs. They are essentially the equivalent, and I'm going to say this and probably get in trouble, the Nazis. The Nazis had their own elements called the SS. And so just if you think of the Nazis as the mullahs, the IRGC is their version of the SS. They are a politically driven military, paramilitary wing. And then on the other side, you have the actual structure of the Iranian government, the military and that sort of thing. But not fundamentally, they're not part of that. So we're hoping to basically draw a division between the two so that the entire turns against the IRGC and the mullahs. That's the hope. And the idea here is to bring the whole thing into some sort of a soft landing that permits a transition of power from the mullahs to the people of the Persian people of Iran.
Now, you had mentioned earlier regime change. Donald Trump said in his address, he said, "We are not here for regime change. This is up to the Iranian people." But we needed the nudge, right?
Well, the people want a regime change because they're cheering in the streets about us killing their leaders. Just saying.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because you got the Crown Prince Pahlavi, who is talking about going back, and I didn't really understand the Shah because I was a kid when that happened, and then he was deposed, and of course the mullahs were brought in, the Ayatollah was brought in, and I didn't realize they're not Persian. This was an occupation. This has been an occupation for 47 years. The Persian people are not down with radical Islam, but they have had to abide by it, and they've had to live this torture existence for 47 years. And I just think the cork is off the genie's bottle, and there's no putting it back, bro.
Yeah, the Persian people are not fundamentally radical Islamic or Islamic at all. Zoroastrianism and Christianity are two of the primary drivers of their faith in the country. So they have essentially been prisoners of this theocracy. And, by the way, the French were the ones who helped moved Khomeini, the first guy, back into the country in 1979. And I think that's why Macron and company are all kind of whining right now about not wanting to be involved, because they kind of caused this back in 79, just saying.
Now, did you...
And then on top of that...
Go ahead.
On top of that, then you have this very extreme religious sect, the Shia, who do believe that it was their job. And this is why, when people ask, well, why were they trying to pursue nuclear weapons? Because they planned on using them.
That's of course, duh.
That was their intent, to bring about their version of the apocalypse for purposes of fulfilling their religious beliefs. And that's the truth.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like to, on the other side of the break, talk to you about NATO basically ignoring us. Sure. And then Keir Starmer kind of doing an about-face, among other things. I think that Donald Trump has given the global elites a little what for, and maybe shaking them up a little bit. We'll continue on the other side of the break with Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey, guys, it's Carson.
Clean. Celebrity voice impersonated.
(3:38 p.m.) on Friday, February 27th, the United States Central Command, through the Secretary of War, received the final go order from President Trump. The president directed, and I quote, "Operation Epic Fury is approved. No aborts. Good luck," close quote. In the region, every element of the joint force made their final preparations. Air defense batteries readied themselves, checking their systems to respond to Iranian attacks. Pilots and crews rehearsed their strike packages for the final time. Air crews began loading their final weapons, and two carrier strike groups began to move towards their launching points.
Wow, that is, of course, Raising Cane. Unbelievable. On the Newsmax hotline, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. I'm so proud of our military, brother. I mean, as proud as I've been, since post 9/11, what they have done and the way that they behave, the professionalism with which they've not only done this, but also the Maduro extraction, the bombing of the Iranian nuclear facilities. My God, America is so back, sir.
Yeah. It was great. I was talking over there to a colleague, John Bachman, about his new book, Turning Point, about urgent fury, and about how it's interesting that they picked Epic Fury for the title of the current operation, based on what President Reagan's first foray into military operations back in '83. So the military, there's a lot of parallels between President Trump building it back, President Reagan did, and the lethality, the fact that we have the ability to do things in a way that's effective, surgical, and basically in line with the president's guidance, has been fabulous. Now, we've had some losses. We're probably going to have some more.
I do.
But the path forward is very clear that I don't think it's going to last 4 weeks. I think we're talking about maybe 2 weeks, because I think we're going to run out of targets in about 10 days.
Well, exactly. That's what I wanted to talk about. Talk about the progress of this mission. What came first? What came next? And what we've achieved so far and have left. Go ahead.
So you mentioned about the Iranian media being taken over. Command and other information operations capabilities were used to essentially bring down the ability of the regime to function. I can't get into all the details because some of those things I actually worked on back in the day, so we'll just leave it at that the Iranians were probably way surprised when things weren't working when they were supposed to, just saying. And then the next thing was a clandestine infiltration of multiple drones and other technology to basically take down their vaunted surface-to-air missile system, which they bought from the Russians.
Yes.
Or the Russian investment didn't work. And so basically we took down all those defenses, and then right after that is when all the resources from all of the Israeli Air Force and U.S. Air Force came flying in, multiple sorties all at once, overwhelming and effectively decapitating the leadership. And by the way, to your point about the CIA giving us great intel, the mullahs were meeting in one place, all these 40 leaders of the country in one spot at one time. It's like, okay, well, there you go. It's like bowling. We just put the bowling ball down.
Well, what gave it away? There was a transport with a load of goats in lingerie, and they tracked it. They tracked it right to the building.
Yeah. Well, no. Look, I think they ought to be the mullahs left ought to be thanking President Trump for allowing their leadership to meet Allah. I would be. This
there
is
you
a celebration
go.
As far as I'm concerned.
Might as well go together. Yeah. But obviously we're concerned about a vacuum of power. But I'm going to. Like I said, it's not going to be a protracted war, and I think it's going to end a lot sooner. I think you're exactly right. When we've really overwhelmed them, and they're doing their typical kind of bloviating and saying, initially, Tony, they said, we have not launched our best aircraft yet. We're using the reserves. I'm like, yeah, you always get out your old crap, your old inventory you want to get rid of when you're first defending yourself. So I think they're grasping at straws right now. They can still do damage, don't get me wrong. They're very dangerous.
Yeah, they are. It's really ironic here, and I've gotten some from folks who feel I've become a neocon. I'm not, because all of a sudden I'm cheerleading this, and it's like, President Trump said no new wars. No, he said no. He didn't say that. He said no forever wars.
Yes.
He never made a claim once he would not use military force to defend our values, our equities, or our interest. He never said that. So,
and this is such bullcrap. I'm just so done with this nonsense. I got into a stupid argument with my son and his couple friends at a little Zoom, and I'm like, you would just, I honestly live a few years, come back and we'll talk to you when you want to celebrate the fact that we just liberated 90 million people and killed Hitler 2.0. All right, just get over it. My God, and they were still launching attacks on us. We were just defending. They were unsuccessful. They've been attacking us 180 times in the last year, for God's sake, and they wanted to reconstitute their nuclear program. So, of course, we had to take him out. It's just for the first time we have a guy who has the balls and will do it. Joe Biden would have done it. He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Precisely. And by the way, there's some rumor I've been picked up on. I think there was some indications the Iranians were moving forward to not only again their nuclear program. They may have been trying to purchase a complete nuclear missile from a third party. Just saying.
Wow.
So that may have been one of the things that prompted what we did.
Tony, in your life, and you've been in the military, and you and I have been on the planet about the same amount of time. This is precipitous. This is as big, I believe, as the Berlin Wall, and I think this can usher in a 2,000-year-long wait for peace in the Middle East. What are your thoughts in closing?
So the president has been able to look at the globe from at what he wants to accomplish. Now, he's a builder. People tend to forget this. A builder looks at a project and tries to figure out, how do I accomplish my goals to come out with something in the end, something tangible. That's what he's doing.
Yes.
And he, as a president, has a massive amount of tools and resources available. What's different here, to your point, Rob, is he actually has a vision and the ability to to express the vision and make it real.
Yeah.
Other presidents have played it. We've had these forever wars.
Yes.
We had these vanity projects.
Yes.
That's all gone.
I know.
And he's trying to accomplish things that will be permanent, sustainable, and will indeed, benefit the human race. He's very Reagan-like on that. Reagan was all about trying to end the Cold War, to preserve humanity. Donald Trump has similar visions to see that we are able to end the scourge of radical Islam and defeat once and for all this communist undertone of our society that's been picked up by Antifa and the left.
Amen, brother.
That's what he's trying to do.
Amen, brother. Well, I'm glad you were found the time to talk to us today, Tony. Your knowledge and experience are invaluable to us. We appreciate it. Where can people find all your work, Project Sentinel and whatnot?
Yeah, just check me out on X at T-Spooky. That most of my stuff is there, and I always appreciate our conversations, Rob. Thanks for having me.
God bless, brother. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All right. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the streaming issues. I don't know what the deal is. I'm not an engineer. But anyway, hope you're enjoying the show. I wish it were uninterrupted, but, things kind of happen. Anyway, good to see you. Good to see you all watching. Sam Ken Bonner and Tony Dickerson, how you doing there? Prana Yoprachat. Hope you had a nice weekend. I was, as much as I was off, I was working all weekend doing video and whatnot, so... I think the A-10s can do the cleanup job on the cartels. Yeah, that's a good thought there, Tom K. The A-10 Warthog is, I guess they wanted to sandbag that plane. I'm not sure if it's still flying, but I guess in limited capacity, it could certainly kick some cartel ass in Mexico, right? Certainly. Who's over watching on the YouTube-age? Hobalone. Hello, Mickey Hastings. What's up, girl? Susan Gibbs, what's up? Oh, if you're complaining about tech issues right now, there is an interstellar activity so huge it's a major problem in many sites. Really? Okay. Well, we got this lunar eclipse happening tonight, so thanks for giving me the heads up on that. I don't think it's the Iranians interfering in it because, they don't have the ability to. Because we kind of cut their tiny little, manhoods off over the weekend. Willard Clark, hello. Good to see you, Willard. American Mars. Call Rob. What's that? Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching today, guys. I really appreciate you. And I'm glad we could witness this history together. It's historic. We'll never forget this. We never will.
And 99.9 FM in Harford County.
We have 3 minutes.
Dig in.
Welcome back to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper in Ohio, battleground state where we're covering the presidential contest. But let's turn to our world lead
2016.
Today. Continued outrage and controversy over that $400 million cash transfer to Iran by the Obama administration on the same day 4 American prisoners were released by Iran. The White House denies that the money was a ransom payment. Footage aired on Iranian television, however, purports to show the money arriving in Tehran, and that is raising renewed questions about whether this was a quid pro quo.
That's how Obama destroyed things. What a feckless fool. An academic with no life experience, just like the dipweed who's running New York right now, Zohran Mamdani. And he sends the Ayatollah $400 million in cash on pallets. This is like Neville Chamberlain on steroids. And to be quite honest, I think Barack Obama leans into the radical Islam a little bit more than just thinking that he could placate the Ayatollah. I'm thinking he's kind of down with the Ayatollah. After all, he does think the Muslim call to prayer is the most beautiful sound ever, even though radical Islam, I'm hoping that we can put it back on its heels and drive it right into the straits of hell, the pits of hell. U.S. and New York lawmakers blasting Zohran Mamdani for his post condemning the U.S.-Israeli attack on Iran. Of course he did. Here's what he said. Today's military military strikes on Iran carried out by the United States and Israel mark a catastrophic escalation in an illegal war of aggression, bombing cities, killing civilians, opening a new theater of war. Americans did not want this. Yeah, we did. We wanted to take the Ayatollah out. But you see, you haven't been alive that long, you idiot. The Ayatollah had already been in charge for 13 years when you were born. They did not want another war in pursuit of regime change. It's not any of those things. But you know what? You're a guy who's never had a real job. You've never had a real job. You've never run anything successfully. You're already doing a face plant in New York. You're begging for money as the city goes bankrupt. You're going to have to cut the police force. You're leaving all your woke nonsense in order. All of your campaign promises have been broken. There are going to be no free buses. There's going to be no free rent. There's going to be none of that because you ran out of other people's money. So honestly, when it comes to this, maybe you ought to keep your mouth shut because you're already doing these radical Islamists doing their prayers in Times Square and the Muslim call to prayer 5 hours a day. I'm thinking you shouldn't be mayor much longer, to be quite honest, because New York City is Tehran in 1979. In case you didn't understand. Last hour of the Rob Carson Show right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide. Real news for real people.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says U.S. military action against Iran could last a month or longer.
2 days after authorizing epic fury, the president said combat operations against Iran will take some time.
Right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks. But we have capability to go far longer than that.
Speaking at a White House Medal of Honor ceremony, he said the U.S. military will do what is necessary to meet the objectives of destroying Iran's missiles and navy and preventing that country from developing nuclear weapons and sponsoring terror. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Saudi Aramco has temporarily shut down its Ras Tanura oil refinery near Dammam after it was targeted by Iranian drones. Saudi state television reported the decision, citing what it described as an official source, adding that there were no casualties from a fire and that its decision was precautionary in nature. Authorities in Austin, Texas say that they're looking at terrorism now as possible motive in an early morning deadly multiple shooting that was carried out apparently in the name of Islam. We get more details in this report from Donna Warder.
3 people were killed, including the suspected gunman, and 14 others were wounded when Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis says a man opened fire on patrons at a popular bar in the city. She says the man in an SUV drove near Buford's Backyard Beer Garden early Sunday.
At one point, he put his flashers on, rolled down his window, and began using a pistol shooting out of his car windows, striking patrons of the bar that were on the patio and that were in front of the bar.
Audio courtesy of KVUE. Police say the gunman got out of his car with a rifle and began shooting at people who passed by. Police then confronted the man and shot and killed him. I'm Donna Warder.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Micro's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today!" Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save
So there you go. Congratulations. Good job, U.S. military. Of course, the Democrat Party, they don't have it within them to celebrate the freedom of individuals because they hate Donald Trump so much. This is from Breitbart. Operation Epic Fury ahead of schedule. Dozens of senior Iranian leaders killed. Israel hits back hard against Hezbollah, and we are seeing what I predicted when Donald Trump was running. I said that there would be a birth of freedom. There would be a birth of patriotism around the world, and this would be the reaction to the action of evil, because for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. It is a truth of physics, and it's also a truth of faith. Good v. evil, yin versus yang, karma, all of that. And it had been allowed to run roughshod around the world, and you could feel it. And now it's being exposed everywhere. Massive fraud in our government. Massive fraud in our government. We're discovering that our government was weaponized to go after Donald Trump, and also you and me, among other things. They did everything. They went after our speech. They shut us down. They shut down our nation. They unleashed a virus on us. They did not hold China accountable, even though we helped pay for the damn thing. They destroyed our children's education. They destroyed our businesses. They took away our ability to express ourselves. We couldn't protest an election that was obviously rigged. We couldn't have an opinion on Hunter Biden's laptop. We couldn't have an opinion on Russia collusion. We all know that Russia collusion was a lie, was a complete lie. Joe DeGeneva is spectacular. He was talking this weekend about what they tried to do to Donald Trump in this massive conspiracy to not only keep him from becoming president, but take him down. And this went all the way up to Barack Obama.
Which she sent to herself, establishing that on January 5th, President Obama, Vice President Biden, John Brennan, Clapper, the director of the FBI, the DOJ Attorney General, met in the Oval Office and discussed an investigation.
This is the evil I was talking about.
Into the incoming President of the United States, and the only thing Barack Obama could say was, do it by the book. This, to me, goes into a criminal conspiracy against Donald Trump. You may not be able to indict Obama, but he should be named as an unindicted co-conspirator along with Susan Rice. This is a huge matter. It's been totally ignored, and I hope that the prosecutor down in Florida, Jason Redding Quinones, understands this. I don't know if he does. He's a very bright fellow. I don't know if he has the guts to do what has to be done in this. You cannot worry about the political fallout from this. You must do what is right.
Yes.
And doing what is right is indicting a group of CIA, FBI, national security people for crimes against Donald Trump. People don't like Donald Trump. That's too bad. You don't have the right to frame him for crimes he didn't commit.
100%. And they went after you and me. They went after and surveilled members of Congress, a fishing expedition, to find the man. They had the man. They wanted to find the crimes. That's what the Soviet Union did. Fani Willis has been exposed for collusion. 8,000 pages discovered by Just the News. Biden's White House, the DOJ, the J6 committee. A coordinated multi-front political strike on President Trump during an election. This is Georgia Senator Dolezal speaking in the chambers in Georgia.
Mr. President, we now have confirmation for what we always thought was true, and that is that District Attorney Fani Willis coordinated with the White House.
It's all on the paper.
The Department of Justice and the Jan 6 committee in her attempt to commit lawfare.
The Jan 6 committee, a kangaroo court, they destroyed evidence
against President Trump. After
they tried to put him in jail, they impeached him twice. Then they tried to kill him twice.
Fighting open records requests like her office often does, she finally just yesterday released 8,000 documents to Just the News that reveal close collaboration and coordination with the Biden White House, his Justice Department, and the January 6th Commission. See, we already thought this was true because on November 9th of 2022, President Biden put up the bat signal. He stated that we just have to demonstrate that he, President Trump, will not take power.
Yep.
Well, 6 days later, President Trump announced he was running for re-election. The very next day, 1 day after President Trump announced, Nathan Wade had an 8-hour meeting with the January 6th Commission. Yeah. Now, of course, much like all of his prosecution, when he's questioned under oath, Wade can't remember anything, who he met with, what they talked about, where they met. He's got tremendous amnesia, Mr. Wade does. But 2 days after that meeting with January 6th, on November 18th, which is 3 days after President Trump declared he was running for office, Wade had another 8-hour briefing, this one with the White House. Why is November 18th significant? That is the day that Jack Smith was appointed special counsel. That was the same day that Matthew Colangelo resigned from the Department of Justice.
Yes, to go
and
to?
left to lead the prosecution against President Trump.
It was a massive criminal conspiracy to take down Donald Trump, steal a presidency, take down a president. It's evil. You don't believe it's evil? Do you remember when Joe Biden went to Independence Hall and they bathed it in red? Blood red. Blood red. No reason for that speech. No reason for that speech other than to say Donald Trump and we are MAGA fascists and enemies of democracy. And guess what? Karma is here. The reaction to your action is here, and we're going to drive you into hell. That's it. And this includes the Ayatollah, and this includes all these criminals who have done this to our country, who have so bastardized this country. I said a long time ago, and I had no idea how big this was, I said that the abuses and usurpations of this government against Donald Trump and us and the Constitution are far worse than those committed by the British Empire that caused the Revolutionary War. And there is a baptism by fire. It is fortuitous. It is not by coincidence that you and I, that we have arrived at this moment in history in the 250th anniversary of our country's birth. Donald Trump survived all of those things, and we never gave up. We never surrendered. When they were doing the Republican primaries, we said, don't even bother to run because we are going to reelect him. The day after the election in 2020, we said we will vote for him again because we know what happened. We know it. And I believe in my heart and soul that we are witnessing a God moment on the earth like we've never experienced. I believe this from the depths of my soul. We're seeing too much good and too much evil being taken down. And now we've got the people of Persia walking free. We've got the people of Venezuela freed from a dictator. And next is Cuba. And when Cuba falls, oh my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This is Christian pastor David Nasser. He is from Iran, and his family escaped.
My family and I escaped from Iran when I was 9 years old, when the Iranian Revolution happened. My father was high-ranked in the military, and so we were forced to escape and run for our lives. And we found safe harbor as refugees under political asylum here in the United States. And in one sense, we are the American dream. This was a land of opportunity for us, but in another sense...
Didn't even open a daycare center with no kids and steal billions of dollars.
We had another dream, and that was to see the people of Iran liberated. And just to think today that this is both overwhelming hope and terrifying and exhilarating for our people, that we might actually see the people of Iran freed is just such an incredible moment for us. And so I didn't sleep last night just thinking and praying about our family and friends back in Iran.
And your Democrat Party can't even bring it upon themselves to celebrate with them. Listen to this about faith.
Some of the most troubling places in the world are actually some of the most religious places in the world. You can certainly point to that and see that Iran, in one sense, is a religion gone wrong, and the oppression of and just the torture of the people and the fear that's been brought in. But in another sense, true religion actually offers the opposite. And so, as a Christian pastor, my prayer for Iran is that ultimately this will bring about more than the liberation of a nation, or this will bring about more than just a new revolution, but this will actually bring out revival. And it's interesting, you know, the fastest growing church in the world right now is actually the underground Christian church in Iran. And so what I'm wondering and what I'm waking up praying for is revival for Iran. But I'm also wondering, what role will the global church, like my church in Tennessee, play in locking arms?
Judeo-Christian ethic. My Jewish brothers and sisters, let's not, let's include our Jewish brothers and sisters. We're coming together. Iranians are coming together. Persians are coming together with Jews. And we're going to witness something that we've never witnessed. In 2,000 years, I think we're going to see a peace like we've never seen in the Middle East. I believe it. I really do, guys. I really do. And I hope you'll pray for our troops and you'll pray for the Persian people that they are able to walk free. This is a fortuitous moment in time, and we are blessed to witness it, to be here to witness it. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. That was a pretty good one.
WCBM.
want to say thank you to President Trump. This is the only person who supported us in the last 50 years. Every single people in Iran knew that the only way that this regime is going to go away is that to attack them.
For the first time in their lives, many here are expressing optimism for a new life in Iran.
Unbelievable. It's interesting to be alive long enough to have lived through this, to seen it from its inception to its fall. It's very interesting. And it's amazing. It's a really, really amazing thing to watch. And it's also pretty remarkable to watch the Democrat Party so twisted in hate of Donald Trump that they can't celebrate it. And others, some rhinos I'll get to in a second here. I haven't talked about Tucker Carlson. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I used to enjoy his TV show and listen to his podcast for a while, and I'm just wondering what's going on. He hasn't responded to this. Tucker Carlson slams President Trump's disgusting and evil attack on Iran. I can't believe this. John Carl reported that Tucker called the U.S. strike on Iran disgusting and evil. Tucker argued that the elimination of the Khomeini regime will reshuffle the deck in a significant way. Mark Levin hammered Tucker. I'll deal with this deranged traitor, Tucker Carlson, more fully later. For now, I'll just say he's a disgusting woke, Reich lowlife. He trashes our country and president in the middle of a military campaign against an enemy that has murdered over 1,000 Americans, maimed thousands more. This bum has pranced around the Middle East, giving aid and cover to our enemies. And today he's stabbing the president in the back and smearing our nation. He lies and propagandizes and spews his cancerous bigotry, anti-Semitism, and Christian trashing. Even Qatar is condemning Iran, but not Carlson. He attacks his own country. I don't know. Who would say? Who would say such a thing? Who would say such a thing when we took down Hitler 2.0? It is just remarkable to me. And Thomas Massie, who's Looney Tunes. Thomas Massie is Looney Tunes. If you look at him,
choice for Maryland.
Talk Radio 680 WCPM.
Is the Iranian national anthem. People crying for joy, tears of joy around the world. It's been a long time coming, man. It's been a long time coming. The people of Persia no longer are living under the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah is room temperature. Thank you very much. And they got him real quick. Saturday morning early on. Mike Carter, chief White House correspondent here in lovely Washington, D.C. on Newsmax, joins us on the Newsmax hotline. How you doing, brother?
Rob, I am exhausted.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
4 days I've been in Texas, Mar-a-Lago, and today just got back to Washington. We're at the White House right now. The president just concluding a Medal of Honor ceremony where he spoke about his objectives in Iran. This is the first public statement we've heard from the president. Of course, he issued a series of posted videos over the weekend, but today the president laying out his objectives for why he decided to take the action when he did. Very interesting stuff from the President of the United States.
Yeah, you had mentioned to me in a text about a 4-point plan, and he said he's open to speaking with the new Iranian leadership, but they're being belligerent, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, President Trump, he gave a number of interviews over the weekend, Rob. He hasn't been speaking to reporters. He's yet to actually answer public questions from reporters since ordering the strike on Iran over the weekend. But as you mentioned, the president said over the weekend that Iran's new leadership has reached out to him, and he's open to speaking with them. But the president saying yesterday that the time to speak was last week, not this week. Also today, we did hear from the new head of Iran's Security Council. He says they are not open to speaking with the United States right now. So there seems to be a little bit of miscommunication there. One side is saying they want to speak. That's the president of the United States. But Iran right now seems like they're not willing to speak on this issue.
Well, good. Let the bombing continue. Honestly, I'm glad. I love them being belligerent. I love that they did it all the way to the end and ultimately precipitated this military move. But I mean, Mike, you've been all over, and you know, like you had mentioned Texas, Mar-a-Lago, you had mentioned here. Have you ever experienced something like this? With regard to a president, with regard to a massive military operation and a truly historic moment. I mean, this is 47 years in the making. And what's it been? What has it been like? What has the energy been like? What have you been hearing from people?
Well, it's been nonstop, Rob. I mean, the entire Trump presidency. We like to say at the White House we run on Trump time. And that means, you know, you never know what's going to happen and when. You know, we've been preparing for these strikes on Iran for some time now, at least for the last 2 or 3 weeks, knowing that at any time the president could make up his mind. Friday night, while speaking at Corpus Christi, the president was talking about energy. You had Energy Secretary Chris Wright there. Ted Cruz was in attendance. Senator John Cornyn of Texas. Of course, he's got a primary coming up tomorrow in Texas, and he's facing off against Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. So there was a big, a lot of hoopla around the president coming to Corpus Christi on Friday, and a lot of folks wondering if he would endorse John Cornyn or Ken Paxton. He's decided to stay out of that race, at least for now. But you also had the governor of Texas there Friday night. So,
I saw that.
There was a strong push for the president to say, or a lot of people wondering if the president was going to give any indication Friday night what he was going to do when it came to Iran. He didn't give any indication that those strikes were going to take place.
Well, what happened with
he went to a Whataburger, the fast food joint in Texas, and then he went to Mar-a-Lago and went to a fundraising dinner Friday night where he kind of danced with some attendees, some fundraisers, before saying, I've got to go to work. And then we know shortly after midnight Friday night, the president decided to launch those strikes.
When did you find out? When did you find out? I woke up right like a half hour into the and I normally get up, but it's like 5:30 in the morning. When did you find out? When did you know that the okay had been given and our planes were in the air?
Well, I woke up about 1:30 in the morning on Saturday morning, Texas time, so 2:30 Eastern, to a couple of missed phone calls from my news director trying to get me on the phone to get my butt to Mar-a-Lago. I was planning on a 5:30 flight back to Washington, but then, of course, with the news being what it was, rerouted myself to Florida, and we were in Mar-a-Lago all weekend. But Rob, I do think it's important to just give you the main outline of the president's objectives that he said today. This is something that he's faced a lot of criticism from a lot of Democrats over the weekend. Adam Schiff coming out, Senator Mark Kelly saying that there aren't any clear objectives for why the president decided to strike when he did. Trump today saying the 4 objectives for striking Iran were this: destroying Iran's missile capabilities, annihilating its navy, and the president saying today that the U.S. has now sunk at least 10 Iranian naval vessels, also preventing the country from obtaining a nuclear weapon and stopping Iran from arming, funding, and directing terrorist groups outside its borders. So, look, President Trump was making his plan clear. He wanted to strike Iran now before he felt that Iran would garner the capability of striking inside the homeland of the United States.
Well, he had also made a promise to the Iranian people, and they had slaughtered 35,000 people. I can't even imagine the bravery it took to face that onslaught, and many lost their lives. So it was a promise kept, and I don't think the rest of the despotic world will forget it, because when Donald Trump makes a promise, he keeps it. What else is going on today, Mike? What are you going to be working on today, man?
Well, we heard from the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, this morning. He gave a press conference this morning here in Washington, Rob. Hegseth making it clear that Iran is not Iraq, that this will not be a forever war. Yesterday, the president said he expected Operation Epic Fury to last about 4 weeks, that it was always going to be about a 4-week or less operation. Now, today, the president's saying it could be 4 to 5 weeks or longer. So the timeline has shifted a little bit, but the president still says he's confident that this operation will be wrapped up in the next month or so. Obviously, that is what a lot of people are wondering. How long will this operation last? Of course, you have folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene who say MAGA, President Trump's candidacy was never about forever wars, regime change. And that's something that obviously is top of mind for the president. He wants to get in and out of Iran, getting these objectives accomplished, and having this all be over with by at least April.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you. I know you're very, very busy. You're doing outstanding work, man. And I'm just marveling at what you're doing for Newsmax. I'm really proud to work with you, bro. Where can people find all your work, man?
You can find my work at Mike Carter TV on X. And you can watch Newsmax.
All right, brother, of course. All right, man, hey, best of luck to you. Have a great day. I appreciate your time today.
Cheer you up.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
the largest Iranian populations outside of the Middle East. You see the gathering there behind her. Julia, how is the Iranian community responding?
Well, this gathering has only grown, Jessica, over the past few hours, since we've gotten here. It has amassed a large number of people, and the celebration is striking. We got here just moments after initial reports, initial rumors of the death of Ayatollah Khamenei had just started to trickle from.
This is in Los Angeles, and they happen all over the world. And I'm just glad to have seen this. I'm really glad to share it with you today because this is a really big deal. I'm really, really happy for the people of Persia. I was texting my doctor all weekend, Dr. Ayatollah. He's an Iranian who left Iran right after the Ayatollah took over. And I've been telling him, I said, when Donald Trump becomes the president, Iran's going to be free, Persia's going to be free. Okay, Rob. I texted him at 5:30 on Saturday morning. He's probably like, "What the hell do you want?" It is an amazing day. I'm so happy for the Iranian people. My heart goes out to the 4 American servicemen who lost their lives over the weekend, and I believe their bodies have already arrived at here in Washington D.C. And this is a noble venture. It is a noble and historic venture. It is historic beyond belief. It is just amazing. This is an Iranian person. I'm assuming this person might be LGBTQ community who said that he's done with Democrats.
How can you be silent? This is not okay. I'm no longer going to support Democrats. You Iranians, none of you should support Democrats. I'm honest. Honestly, I'm livid. I'm done with them completely. Just acknowledge the truth. Islamist Marxism is a terrorist entity.
Yes.
90 million Iranians held hostage for 47 years because of your silence.
Yes.
American people, this is not about being politically correct. This is not about Islam. This is not about religion. This is about a cult. I beg you, I urge everyone, Democrat, Republican, please stand for people of Iran.
Amen, and I do, and I will, and like I said, I think we're going to see some things that are historic. I mean, I think we're going to see peace in the Middle East like we never could have imagined. I really do. I mean, it already is. It has, and it's going to get only better. It's only going to get better. I was looking at the price of gold. The price of gold is at $53.25, so it's back up to $5,300. If you had $20,000 in gold in 2006, you could have bought 33 ounces of gold. I did a little figuring on the calculator here. What would that be worth today? $20,000 in 2006, $175,000 today. $175,000 today. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals, and precious metals love global insecurity. And what do we got now, people? What do we got now? Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered retirement account in gold. I just put a little 401k in gold. They asked me which metals I wanted. I said, I want heavy metal, baby. I want gold and Led Zeppelin. They said, well, we don't deal in Led Zeppelin, but we'll give you the gold. And I said, okay, I'll take the gold. No obligation, just useful information. If you text my name, Rob, to 989898, A-plus rating from the BBB, A-plus rating from the BBB, and, of course, lots of happy customers, including, this guy right here, text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. Looking for some other audio here. I did a lot. I was watching this all weekend. I was watching all of this weekend. And it was just amazing to watch. I do want to mention this. There is a high alert. The DHS and FBI are monitoring potential threats on U.S. soil during strikes with Iran, and obviously Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, who should be lined up against a wall, allowed the southern border to be open, and unvetted terrorists, people unvetted for disease, criminality, among other things, were unvetted. 20 million of them across the southern border. We have no idea We have no idea how bad things could become, but it looks like something happened in Austin, Texas. A mass shooter identified as a 53-year-old immigrant from Senegal wearing a Property of Allah and Iranian flag clothing, a Quran found in his car as the FBI investigates a nexus to terrorism. The mass shooter in Austin, Texas, who killed 2, injured 14 others on Sunday morning, has reportedly been identified as Indiago anyway, 53-year-old Singalese immigrant. That's kind of interesting because when the border was open, there was somebody went down to the border, was interviewing a bunch of unvetted military-age men from Senegal.
How you doing? Where are you from? Senegal. Where are you going? New York. New York. Thank you, sir. You?
Senegal.
Where are you going? Thank you. Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
North Carolina.
Thank you, sir. You? Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Wow.
Thank you, sir. Where are you from? Senegal. Where are you going? Senegal. Thank you. Where are you?
Why in the hell was the Senegal they coming across the southern border? Why were they coming across the southern border? Because Joe Biden was fighting the whole frickin' world, regardless of their danger to us, regardless of their criminality, regardless of they stuffed a Trojan horse with our enemies. I told you this while it was happening. I said they're stuffing a Trojan horse with our country's enemies because they hate America and they wanted to bring us down. And thank God Donald Trump won the presidency, because it would be game over. It would be game over. Iran would already have a nuke, and we'd have millions more have invaded this country, millions more. Trillions of dollars spent to pay for their votes. We would have lost everything, every election, everything. That's why November is coming up, and we cannot lose anyone in Congress. We've got to dominate and take it to a new level, even more than we've been doing. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hi, kids. Gladys Kravitz is watching. Hello, Gladys, the original Karen. That's Gladys Kravitz. She was the original Karen. Although she had, she had some things, like she was looking in windows and seeing, Darren become a donkey, and then all of a sudden changing back and Dr. Bombay showing up. I'd be freaking out too. I'd be telling the HOA, what the hell's going on over at the Stevens house? What's going on? So anyway. I haven't watched that show since I was a kid, and it was in syndication. Donna Lambert, hello. Good to see you, Brian Manning. Thanks for watching, Chris Schwab, all of you guys. Dookie Bear, Round a Pony, Mo M, Mom 167. Catch y'all later. See ya. Hope you enjoyed the show today. It's a pretty good show. Let me find out what else I'm going to talk about today. We could do that. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I got something right here. I got a lot of good audio, didn't I, today? Played a lot of audio today because I was online all weekend. I was doing video. Make sure to check all my social media, would you mind? Proud to be a Jew. Me too. I'm not a Jew, but I'm proud that you're proud to be a Jew. You should be. It's going to change. Everything's going to change. Everything's going to change. Everything is going to change for the better. All right. Got to pass the SAVE Act. You're exactly right, damn it. Got to pass it. All right, kids. I got to talk. All right, thanks. Thanks for watching. I got to get back to it. Here we go. Hold on. Come on, baby.
I have about 340 here.
If you like peace, and if you like democracy, and if you like women being free, if you like innovation, unleash these Persians. Well, I think what's happening in Iran may be the most important thing happening in the world.
This is Van Jones.
Unleash 90 million people who come from one of the most creative, imaginative, and regal cultures in the history of the world. which could help all humanity tomorrow instantly. It's worth the fight to get them free. A lot of stuff you were dealing with today, they invented. And so they just had a lid on their head for half of a century.
Yeah, they did.
And so I think a freed up Persian culture can be incredible for technology, can be incredible for humanity, can be incredible for the arts. It could be the end of a lot of BS in the region. You need a free Iranian people. You need the Persians back on the map for this century to work out well. People don't even know how good it's going to feel to have a world where the Iranian people are allowed to actually do what they've always done, which is to contribute to world culture. Like, we don't even know what we're missing. When we get that back, we're going to be mad that we let it take this long.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm sorry you've had to suffer so long. I'm sorry the world just sat there and watched. I really am. I'm so grateful that this man is our president of the United States. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, because I knew this was going to happen. I can feel it. Cubanos. That's next. That's next. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits. Millions more will join soon. A new study finds 70% of Americans don't get full benefits. What the heck? You pay for it your entire stinking life. They give you a pittance. Now it's not being taxed anymore, but you know what? There are simple strategies that can boost your Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000. $188,000 over your lifetime. Newsmax has this free special report, and you can get it free. Write down this number if you're thinking about doing Social Security. I can be doing mine for about 10 years, so I'm not going to do it right now. But 800-999-9690, 800-999-9690. If you want to learn a little bit more about how to crank out $180,000 more in the lifetime of your Social Security benefits, I'm thinking that would help, wouldn't it? You could go on vacation, get that Class B RV, drive around the country. Yeah, baby. 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. All right. Wow. I mean, I didn't have a weekend. I'm glad that I was able to watch all this and share it with you. Follow me on all my social media at Rob Carson or Rob Carson Show. Watch Newsmax today for all the latest coverage. Pray for our troops. Pray for the people of Persia and Iran that they will be free. We are witnessing history. Relish every minute of it. Relish every minute of it. Faith is rising. Freedom is rising around the globe. All right? God bless you guys. God bless the people of Iran. God bless Donald Trump and his administration. He makes the world great again. And until tomorrow, which is Tuesday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.